the regular meeting of the Waterloo Board of Adjustment to order for Tuesday, March 26th. Can I have a motion to approve the March 26th agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval, second item is approval of the January 29th, 2019 minutes.
I move that we approve the January 29th, 2019 minutes as presented.
Second. Just make those corrections.
Just a question, is this the corrected one that you sent out? Did Chris added this to the packet that I got?
I know he corrected them and resent that out, but I don't know, the ones attached in your packet might still be the, before they were corrected. So I don't know what the corrections were, so.
So should the motion,
This has to be amended. The corrections were, if you look under number 2, the request by Martin Gardner, down the third line from the bottom, it should be an oil water separator, and was written, there's my, and then the next sentence, that is monitored weekly and there have been no known issues, and then he misspelled my name many different ways in here.
But he corrected those and you reviewed that, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I would say, yeah, just move to approve the minutes as corrected. And
As corrected.
And he has those on file. So.
Yes.
so that motion withdrawn and you need to,
Yeah, I
File a
withdraw
new
the
motion
original.
with-
I now move that we approve the corrected January 29th, 2019 minutes.
Second.
any discussion? Other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have one decision item today. A request by Cindy Huffman for a variance to allow for an existing 16 by 22 foot accessory structure to be located on a lot without a principal permitted use adjacent to 161 Bell Street. Staff report.
This is Schrader with staff, so the applicant's planning to split the existing lot into 2 separate lots. By doing so, the existing garage would be separated from the home at 161 Bell Street. Property is zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residence district. Request would not appear to have a negative impact on the neighborhood or surrounding uses, as the applicant is planning to either build a new home on the lot with the existing garage or sell to a buyer who would build a new home, which would bring the existing garage into compliance, as it would then be tied to a principal permitted use. Request would not appear to have a negative impact on traffic conditions. City Waterloo zoning ordinance states that an accessory structure cannot exist without a principal permitted use. The applicant plans to split the 69,696 square foot lot into 2 lots, one at 39,253 square feet and one at 32,353 square feet, for the purpose of selling the existing home at 161 Bell Street and then having a new home built on the newly split lot to the west of 161 Bell Street, and is asking for the 2-year temporary variance to allow the accessory building to be on a lot by itself while plans are developed for a new home to be built. Under criteria, lack of reasonable return, there would not appear to be a lack of reasonable return, as the applicant could demolish the garage or build a new home to be in compliance with the ordinance. However, it is just a temporary variance. Under uniqueness, the request would appear to be somewhat unique, as it would be a temporary use, and given time, the applicant will build the new home on the property or the garage would be demolished. And public consideration, the request would not appear to have a negative impact on the surrounding area or traffic conditions, and staff has heard no opposition. Therefore, staff recommends that the request for a temporary variance to allow for an accessory structure without a principal permitted use for a 2-year period in the R2, 1 and 2 family residence district at 161 Bell Street be approved, as a request would appear to be somewhat unique, as it was temporary and will allow the applicant time to build a new home or sell to a buyer who will build a new home. The request would not appear to have a negative impact on the surrounding area or traffic conditions, and staff has heard no opposition, and subject to the condition that the applicant agrees to demolish the garage if a new home hasn't commenced prior to 2-year temporary variance expiring.
Questions of staff? Okay. Is there anyone that wishes to speak in favor of the request?
No, that's me. I put it in. They said, well, come sit in if you want, so that's why I came.
Okay.
Well, you're welcome.
Yes.
I do have a couple questions. If we could have you step up to the microphone? Yeah, you have to be on TV.
Are you serious? Okay.
You need to state your name and address.
My name is Cindy Huffman. My address is 161 Bell Street.
Okay. Was this garage there first and then you built the newer house? I didn't get
No.
a chance to drive out there. Did
No,
you
it
build
was
them?
after the fact.
Okay. And just for I'm just asking it's not part of the process, but do you have a mortgage on the property now?
No.
Okay, then you shouldn't have to worry about splitting it off with a lender, so, okay. That was my two questions. Anybody else have any questions?
No?
Not really.
Okay, thank you. Well, since you're the only one in the audience, I assume we have nobody objecting to the request, but,
So I'm good to go then?
no, we have to vote,
We have
but,
to
Oh, okay.
I have to ask if there's any objections to the request. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the request by Cindy Huffman for a temporary variance to allow for an accessory structure without a principal permitted use for a 2-year period in an R2 1 and 2 family residence district located at 161 Bell Street for the following reasons. The request would appear to be somewhat unique, as it would be a temporary variance that will allow the applicant time to possibly build a new home or to sell to a buyer who plans to build a new home on the property. 2, the request would not appear to have a negative impact upon the surrounding area or traffic conditions in the area, as the property is located on a dead end that sees very little traffic. And 3, staff has heard no opposition to this request. Subject to, the applicant agrees to demolish the garage if a new home hasn't commenced prior to the 2-year temporary variance expiring.
Second?
Okay. John, I may not have heard, did you finish the sentence located at 161 be approved? I don't think you said the word approved, did you?
He did. No, I
Did he? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
I guess I want to make sure Ms. Huffman understands that last point, that you, the applicant, agrees to demolish the garage if a new home hasn't commenced prior to the 2-year temporary variance expiring. Okay. Okay.
okay. No further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes, motion's carried. Now you can leave.
Good to go.
Yeah,
That was simple. Have a good night.
thank you.
We have the second item as a discussion and possible board action on the December 2019 meeting date. I assume that you don't want to meet on Christmas Eve, is what
That
you're,
would be a good guess.
okay.
This is Schrader with staff. Yeah, I'm getting the calendar up there. So the 4th Tuesday in December falls on December 24th. And yeah, that is a legal holiday for the city of Waterloo. We would have a couple of options. Moving it up 1 week to the 3rd Tuesday has some complications because the Community Development Board meets at 4 o'clock on that day. Also, moving it up complicates the turn-in deadline. Sure, we can move the turn-in deadline up as well, but a lot of developers, engineers, architects that are the ones turning in applications know the turn-in deadline is the 2nd Tuesday of the month, so it can start to be complicated when we move the turn-in deadline up. Another option might be to move it back a week to the 31st. That is 5th Tuesday, so generally doesn't run into other meeting conflicts, although that is New Year's Eve. It's not a city holiday, but, or a third option is to cancel the December meeting altogether. That's
I mean,
usually is slower, you
Yeah.
know, but it's,
I'm thinking that since this is March, there certainly is enough time to make it known, even put it on the website, I don't know, do what you guys do as far as advertising to say the December meeting's canceled.
I would agree. I mean, it's just a busy time for everyone, and I know a lot of people are out of town at that time. I know I won't, if we have it on the 31st, I won't be here. If we have it on the 24th,
Better not
I'm gonna
be
be
here.
here. If we move it back, I'm the chair of community development, so I can't be here.
Yeah. You guys might cancel as well. No? Okay,
We'll have cookies. I shouldn't say that on the.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, if this is a motionable item, to cancel the December 2019 Board of Adjustment meeting.
I second that motion.
Okay. Is that something we can do? Okay. I didn't
Yep.
know if the city council had to weigh in on that.
nope, there's no, city council just creates the board. There's no like minimum number of meetings or anything like that. And the bylaws, the administrative rules provide for the board to change the meetings or cancel them. So, nope, that would be an appropriate motion.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That meeting is canceled. Any other further discussion items? If not, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
We're good.